In our world, unfortunately, there are some people who choose a life of crime. But as we all know, crime does not pay. And in many of these cases, especially robberies, the thieves end up getting the worst of it in ways that can even be funny. And that is exactly what you are going to see here today. So go ahead and leave your like, click down below on the subscribe button, and let's get started. Here we have the case of a thief who did not want to cause trouble with anyone. He was just doing his job, which was robbing the convenience store in a very casual way. There was a customer already at the register, so he politely asks for permission, announcing that he is going to carry out the robbery, cutting the line, since he is a criminal, and that is part of his protocol. Of course, this is all a joke. This criminal is very foolish because he did not consider that the man behind him could overpower him, stopping him from robbing the store. As if that was not enough of a problem, right after that, a police officer shows up to arrest him. That is what happens when you underestimate the people around you during a robbery. A security camera in a convenience store captured an unbelievable situation that happened during a robbery. The thief shows up causing terror, announcing the robbery. But what the store employees do not know is that he does not actually have a firearm. Throughout the robbery, he keeps his hands in his pocket, pointing with his finger to create a bulge under his jacket, pretending to have a real weapon. But the best part of the video is still coming. The security guard of the establishment, who did not know the thief actually did not have a real weapon, pretended to have a gun hidden behind his back and managed to subdue the criminal. The guard orders the criminal to surrender and slowly approaches him, keeping one hand behind his back pretending he is holding a gun. When he gets close, he reveals he has no gun at all, just like the thief. But it was already too late. The thief was immobilized and taken to the police station. A very clumsy and foolish thief ended up losing his gun during a robbery. If it had not been filmed, maybe no one would believe this story. At the start of the video, captured by the security camera, the criminal is already in the middle of the robbery, putting the money he took from the employee into several plastic bags. Notice that on top of the counter lies his firearm. The employee stretches out her arm and manages to grab it, causing the thief to run away in fear when she points his own gun at him. Incredibly, the thief comes back just moments after his embarrassing getaway and has the nerve to ask for his gun back. Of course, she says she will not hand it over. At this point, the criminal gets furious and even tries to jump over the counter, but the employee becomes more serious, saying she will shoot, so he runs away again, ending up even poorer than before by losing a weapon worth more than any amount he got from the register. A ride-hailing driver was working one night in the city of Osasco, in the state of Sao Paulo, in Brazil, taking a passenger home. During his shift, he was approached by two men on a motorcycle who were trying to rob him. However, this driver did something surprising. Instead of obeying the robbers and stopping the car, he decides to keep driving, and in a sudden move, he swerves the car toward the robbers, causing them to lose control of the motorcycle and fall. Notice the moment when one of the robbers holds onto the car window, telling the driver to stop. Even in a dangerous situation, the driver did not back down and fought back against the robbery. Although he managed to outmaneuver the criminals, the passenger was quite scared, also asking for the car to stop, saying he wanted to end the ride. But the driver managed to calm him down, and about 4 blocks ahead, they found a military police car, which helped arrest the thieves. During a robbery at a snack bar, something truly incredible happened when this guy in the dark shirt stepped in to stop the crime. Notice the moment the thief starts the robbery. He shows a firearm threatening the guy who was near the counter and the employees who do not appear on the security camera footage. The man in dark clothes, possibly a customer who was there, stays very quiet, head down, while the robber demands that the employees hand over all the money from the establishment. While the thief is distracted talking to the employees behind the counter, the customer draws his own gun, subduing the robber on the spot. This customer was actually a police officer. His whole attitude changes the moment he reveals his weapon. It is as if he turns into a completely different person. He managed to fool the thief with his performance and arrested him immediately afterward. A man was in a supermarket planning to steal something. He approaches a pack of drinks, all set to walk away without paying. In one quick move, he grabs the beers and runs off. Now, let us rewind the video a bit and pay attention to another guy. Notice the employee back there, carefully watching the thief. As fast as the man who took the drinks, this employee also dashes forward and kicks a box toward the thief, hitting his feet and tripping him, preventing a robbery in his supermarket. This employee truly has excellent reflexes, but that is not the only reason he managed to foil the thief. If he had not been paying attention from the start to what that man was doing, he might have missed the opportunity. Imagine if he had looked away just as the man started running. He would not have had time to stop him. Check out this unusual situation that looks like it came straight out of a comedy movie. Late in the afternoon, it was already dark when a criminal decided to rob a convenience store. He opens the door with his weapon in hand, ordering the shopkeeper to gather the money to put in his backpack. The robber acts quite aggressively, and besides hiding his identity with a mask, he keeps his arms fully extended with the weapon and the bag, forcing the citizen to hand over his valuables. But when the shopkeeper crouches down, he comes back up not with the money the thief wanted, but with an enormous machete, which he draws from its sheath like a true samurai, even causing the blade to flash in the security camera lens. Besides chasing the thief out of his store, the man continued chasing him down the street, wielding the machete and shouting, telling the criminal to come back and face him. A bizarre situation took place in the west zone of Sao Paulo, in Brazil, when criminals stole a car and were intercepted by the police. But no one imagined how this story was about to end. In one of the videos, recorded by a driver stuck in traffic, we can see the police confronting the suspects in the middle of the jam, but they managed to escape, pushing cars out of the way and causing a series of collisions. Not much later, a nearby security camera captured the conclusion. The criminals, still fleeing, had the bad luck of getting into a serious accident that flipped the vehicle. Fortunately or unfortunately, the criminals were not injured by that rollover. But thanks to the police officers and the people who were close to the accident, they were captured and taken to jail. A lady went to the ATM to make some payments when she was surprised by two thieves who wanted all the money in her account. She arrives at the ATM, carefree, not realizing what is about to happen. The security camera placed there specifically because of the machine captured the thieves' entire action. They quickly grab her. One holds her next to the ATM, while the other starts operating the machine to clear out her bank account. However, this story does not end in tragedy, at least not for the lady. A hero appears from the street to teach the troublemakers a lesson and save the poor woman. The first thief is so shocked by the surprise that he decides to lie down on the ground for a nap while the other runs away, abandoning his partner. But it did no good. Shortly afterward, he was found by the police and both were taken to prison. Some time ago, a guy entered a convenience store, like those at gas stations, to carry out a robbery. He announces the crime to the clerk, who starts looking for a way to get the money out of the register and hand it over to the criminal. In reality, it is very likely this clerk is trying to buy time, since he looks confused, trying to find some button to open the drawer. While the thief is focused, waiting for the money, behind him, what appears to be a customer is waiting near an ice cream freezer. When he realizes there is a robbery, however, the man acts quickly, surprising the thief. After being subdued, the robber acts very cautiously, almost as if he is ready to give up, but he still tries to get away holding onto his gun. Fortunately, the clerk got involved in the fight to help the customer, and the thief was taken by the police shortly afterward. A thief decided to rob a snack bar in Brazil. He was in the kitchen carrying out his robbery when something unexpected happened. Notice the body language of the establishment's owner who is being robbed. He seems to be complying with the thief's demands, handing over the contents of his wallet, as we can see in the security camera footage. But in the blink of an eye, the moment the thief looks away from him, he uses a huge kitchen utensil to strike him. What follows is utter chaos, with the thief losing his gun and other people joining the fight. The owner tries to use the weapon against the thief, but has a lot of difficulty, unable to load it properly, so he decides to use it as a blunt object to attack the criminal again, who tries desperately to escape. Luckily, in the end, no one was shot and no one was hurt, except for the thief, who left with minor injuries. A wave of rebellion took place recently in France, where part of the population, in protest, broke into several stores and vandalized everything, taking away much of the merchandise. During that period, there was a lot of news coverage about the looting. In fact, a news crew went to one of these malls and caught a situation on camera that ended up being almost funny. A man, excited by the stories he saw on the news, decided to profit from all this chaos and went to a mall near his home to commit theft. In the video, you can see that he was alone, and the place was already deserted, just him and the TV crew. When the man was about to leave the store, all happy with suitcases full of stolen goods, he came face to face with the police. What bad luck, huh? The way he freezes in shock when he sees the authorities is quite humorous. Who would have thought this opportunity for profit would become so damaging to his life? It is hard to tell whether this scene was really caught on a security camera or if it is from a comedy film. These dumb thieves look more like a couple of bumbling fools, totally lost while trying to pull off a robbery. Anyone watching the video can see what is about to happen. While one tries to open the establishment's door with a screwdriver, the other uses a crowbar and yanks the door hard, with the bar right at his partner's eye level. What follows is a spectacular blow, worthy of a funny home video reel. They really could cast these two clowns in a new sequel of those Home Alone movies. They would not even need to act. Their stupidity is already built in. Get ready to laugh a lot because this might be the dumbest car thief you will ever see. Security camera footage from Ireland does not lie. It captured this guy's entire attempt to smash a car window with a rock. He tries once and fails. Not satisfied, picks the rock up from the ground and tries again, embarrassing himself as the window remains perfectly intact, still doing its job of protecting the inside of the car. But then comes the thief's most brilliant moment. He decides to grab an even bigger object and switch to another window. However, he is about to get a hefty dose of karma straight from his own actions. Whatever he threw at the car bounces right back into his face, practically knocking him out and stopping him from continuing this show of incompetence. Something surprising happened inside a convenience store, and a security camera filmed it all, letting us see this bizarre case. Late at night, two hooded men arrive to rob the store. Apparently, they are armed. One of them jumps behind the counter, threatening the clerk, who raises his hands, while the other goes after the register money. So far, there is nothing too bizarre, but the unusual part is coming up. When they entered, the criminals did not notice there was a security guard outside. The man comes in pointing his gun, successfully subduing the thieves right afterward. Seeing the armed guard, one of the thieves immediately admits his gun is fake. At that moment, the guard responds that his own gun is real, telling them to step away from behind the counter. The unusual dialogue between them is the funniest part of this encounter. The security camera at a gas station caught a series of events that, if it were not recorded, would be hard to believe. An employee of the station was outside when someone suddenly showed up in a very aggressive way, practically ready to attack him. It was probably a very foolish thief, because if he had paid a little more attention, he would have guessed what was about to happen. Just as he appears by surprise in front of the employee, another man appears behind him. It is a police officer who immediately stops the criminal. Upon seeing the violent individual, the officer does not hesitate and lands a perfect sweep, completely surprising the thief and foiling the robbery. A not-so-smart criminal decided to rob a commercial establishment and ended up in big trouble. The security camera behind the counter recorded everything. In the beginning of the video, we see a guy walking in wearing a helmet. He approaches the counter, ready to start the robbery. But when he goes to pull out his weapon, he accidentally fires it into his own foot. Just as fast as he came in, after scaring everyone inside with the gunshot, he turns around and walks out. He leaves without stealing anything and in a lot of pain because of his stupidity. In addition to not taking anything home after his failed robbery and suffering from the injury, this thief was arrested not long after. Nearby authorities rushed to find him. He could not ride his motorcycle because of the pain, so he was found near the store a few minutes later. Do not forget to subscribe to watch more videos like this.